Hey, what's up, gang? It's Adam from the Commander Smiths, and I got a Spotlight deck. That almost, it sounded like I said something different there, but Spotlight deck. I'm hitting up Mindskinner again. I know I did this deck, building the deck a couple weeks ago, but after I got done with the video, I goldfished it on Moxfield here, and it was super clunky. So if you guys didn't watch that video, that one is in the description below, so you guys can check that out if you want to see it. The idea of that one was to make it more of a spell slinger deck and use all the blue creature generating spell slingers. So when you cast an instant or sorcery, you get a 2/2 Drake or you get a 1/1 whatever. And so then the idea was then you mass kill people, because by the time you get Mindskinner out, you kill them with all the little 1/1s and 2/2s and everything that you've made because they're flying and all that stuff. The problem is the guys that generate the spell slinging 2/2s and all that stuff, they cost like 4 to 5, 6 some of them. So it's like you're already at late game. You're in blue, so you don't have the ramp that you would like. If you were in green, I could see that working a little better. But just being in blue, it didn't work out. So after going through it a couple times, I'm like, all right, this isn't going to work. Let's change this up. And so instead, I did have in that deck making Mindskinner multiple copies of him. So you're using things that make it so the legendary rule doesn't work. So you can make multiple copies. But the idea here is to make a lot of ETB evasive creatures or on attack, like getting a bonus from attacking creatures. Because then you get those out early. And they're also your chump blockers, because that's the thing is you're going to start milling, and it's going to mill fast, and you need something to make yourself survive the crackback from all three players. So cool thing about Mindskinner is once you hit somebody with damage, it does it to all three players. It prevents the damage, and you mill. So that's what I like about it. I talked about it in the other video as well. You're hitting everybody. I like hitting everybody, not just picking on one player. That's the problem with mill. So how this is going to go through, I'm going to show you the final deck, how it all turned out, and then we'll do a little bit, probably 5-10 minutes at the end, gold fishing, showing you kind of how this one plays out. So before I get started here, please hit that like button. We do have serial thumbs downers, so liking this helps us out, because you just counteract the thumbs down person, or persons. I think it's like 2 to 3 people, or maybe it's 1 person, 3 accounts. I don't know, but hit the like button, and if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so. All right, so let's get started. Gonna go through the whole deck really quick. So Mindskinner, once again, it's a 3-drop, 3 blue, 10/1, so he's a big MFer, but he doesn't do any damage because if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage, and each opponent mills that many cards, and he cannot be blocked. So the idea is making, you get him out turn 3, and that's kind of the nice thing here is you get him out at turn 3, you see if anybody deals with him. If they kill him right away, it's only a 3-drop. Then you start building your other stuff up, get your little chump blockers out. Then you get him out probably turn 5 or 6 if it gets killed. If he doesn't, then you start going nuts. So, all right, let's get through it. I want to, some of these cool ones, I want to talk about the damage things. And I mentioned this again. I'm going to reference the other video because I did that a bunch. But in the other video, I mentioned this. I wish there was more artifacts that did these type of abilities, especially the Skitter Spike here. But Aetherflux Reservoir, this worked better as a spell slinger, but it still works in this deck because if you're going to pay 50 life to do 50 damage, normally when you do use this card, you're killing one player, but in this, that's your game winner. If you can get yourself above 50 life, you're doing a lot of low cost CMC stuff. So you're actually going to still kind of spell sling, but you're getting creatures instead of spells. You're casting creatures. So this is still going to work really well. You're going to gain life, and if you get over that 50, you could wipe all 3 players off the board with 1 hit. Skitter Spike. Again, I want more of this kind of thing, but when it attacks or blocks or becomes a target of a spell, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. So again, if it's monstrous, so it'll get 5 counters. It'll be a 6/6. So if it attacks or blocks or even becomes a target, it's indestructible. Remember, you attack 6 damage, 6 damage, 6 damage, right? But you got to prevent that 6 damage to the first person. They mill 6 cards. Everybody mills 6 cards. Then it does it the next one, 6 cards, 6 cards. So it's actually doing 18 points of milling just off of this guy attacking, blocking, or becoming a target. This one, the Storm Hammer as well. You put this on, it can attach to your commander right away because it's legendary, which is really nice. When it attacks target creature or tap target creature an opponent controls, it gets a stun counter, but then it deals damage to each opponent. So it's doing the same thing that the Skitter Spike is doing for the amount of tap creatures. So you pick out the opponent that has the most tap creatures, put it down, put it on your commander, attack that player, tap down another one, and then boom, every opponent. I mean, if this is late game, it's kind of a game winner right there. So these are, I want more of these as, time goes on. If we get more things like that, it'll just get added to the deck, and maybe eventually it changes to a deck like that. I do have the game winners. I would probably consider these, maybe this one more so as a game winner, not this one as much, but this is also a nice blocker, the chump blocking stuff. But Dave Dragons, you get this. Dave Dragons is also game winners, what we like to call it. Bone Horde, you get that in mid-game when you've already milled a bunch, and you're just going to win. Like, you attach it, and it's all creature cards and all graveyards, so your 3 opponents are going to have a bunch of stuff in there. And instead of doing that 10 milling, you're going to probably mill out 30, 40. So, Urza's for life. There we go. I don't want to give you the get the fuck out, but I'm going to give it to you with the Lowry.
Get the fuck out.
So, yeah, Bruvac, obviously, if you're doing a mill deck, let's do it twice that amount. This one was I added later. I came across, I was like, I need to find some equipment that I can give X plus X to creatures. Like, that's what I was like, or an artifact, that does that. So I kind of, I did an advanced search, looked it up. This is really the only thing that popped up, but it works out perfect. Equipped creature has defender. That's fine. Your Mindskinner's not going to be able to attack. But you tap 2, tap it. All your other creatures gain trample and X plus X where it's that creature's power. So you put it on Mindskinner. All your little 1/1s that you've cast, all the 1/2s, the 2/2s, now they're 10/10. They gain 10 plus 10 and trample. Most of them are flying creatures. I think we'll get to that in a little bit, but I think almost all of the ones that aren't the copying your commander are flying or have some sort of evasiveness in there. So, yeah, some players might have flying, but they probably don't have that big of flyers that can block and recover the trample. So, Black Blade, I did look at that one. What is Black Blade? You're just interrupting. I'm just kidding. Black Blade. Let's get that. Black Blade Reforge. I just want to see it. Now you're going to see everything in here. I don't want to see. Don't look at that stuff. Keep your eyes closed. Just want to remember what this one is off the top of my head. 1+1 for each land you control. Yeah, no, that's fine. But you could do. I wanted something that hit all your creatures, and so that's why I liked the other one there, because you put it on your commander, and your commander gives the 10 plus 10 to everything else. So, and then you have this, yeah, he's a defender, but when you can give everything else 10 plus 10, that's a game ender right there. Nanogen Conversion, choose target creature control. Each creature becomes a copy of it. If it's legendary, they lose the legendary thing. So this, again, you get all these 1/1s and everything out. It's doing a very similar thing, except for they're not seeing this one coming. You're casting it, and it should be a game winner right there. So these are my big 4 to win the game. I haven't, in my gold fishing, gotten this one out yet because I just got it, or just added to the deck probably in the last week or so. So I'm excited to get this one going. We're going to be playing in real life games next weekend, so I'm really excited for that, to see how this goes. All right, so we're just going to go through a lot of these creatures here. Well, this is all my draw package. I got 16 cards in here. So we got the Owl. This gives you Scry. So we have the ETB. We got Fairy Mastermind. When people are drawing, you're going to draw. Ledger Shredder, drawing off of that whenever they play their second spell. I took out Loyal Drake originally, but now I want it in here because it has the evasiveness. It is giving you a draw with your commander out. So I think this one's really nice in there. Season of Weaving. Fantastic, because if you can get your commander, or even let's say you can't get one of your, the commander tokens to be non-legendary. If you can get them to be legendary, you just choose the second mode twice and then draw a card, because then you get 2 more of your commander. But if you can't and you're in a pinch, you could choose to copy your commander and bounce everything else. So you can do that mode and 3, or it won't bounce your commander, it'll kill it. But you choose target artifact or creature you control, create a token that's a copy of it. So it's going to kill every other your commander. but you're going to bounce everything but your tokens. So your commander stays in. It's a way to get everything off the board. It's each non-land, non-token permanent, so it's going to get rid of all the enchantments, artifacts, all that fun stuff. So I think this one's going to be nice in there. Sky Scanner, you're drawing a card when it enters. Very nice there. Stormfleet Negotiator. So you're going to, when it attacks, each player reveals... no, Lithoform Engine is not in this one. But that would be a good one to add in there, too. That would probably be one that maybe I flirt with the Aether Flux. But we'll see how... You're going to see a lot of these are very low casting cost stuff here. So... When it attacks, everybody reveals the top card. For each non-land, you get a map token, which map tokens are sacrifice. Tap one, tap it, sacrifice this artifact, or target. Sacrifice this target creature control explores. You can only do it as a sorcery. And then everybody draws the card. So it's a little bit of a draw advantage right there. Pretty nice there. Teferi, Master of Time. This is just an awesome card. If you're playing blue, it just kind of fits in there. It's draw. It's getting through your deck. It kind of has a little bit of protection on it, and you're going to have enough chump blockers out here that this in itself is going to be a threat. Like, if you have your commander out and then you play this, they're going to have to decide which one's more of a threat. Teferi, Master of Time, if no one hits it and you don't have to phase anything out, by the time it gets around to you and then you say go, that player takes their turn, and I believe if I calculate it right, that's when you can take your 2 extra turns. So after you say go to the next player, you get to do 2 extra turns after that. So this is actually going to be really nice in this deck because you're going to have a lot of protection there. Ageless Insight, you're going to draw a second card anytime you draw. I have a lot of draw stuff, as you can see with this. So when you do Loyal Drake, you'll draw the 2 cards. Pretty nice there. Thassa, this is going to be nice for blocking. You're playing blue. You're going to easily have 5. Your commander is 3. This is an indestructible blocker. It gets you unblockable for some stuff, but you're really not going to use that much. And it has the static ability of scrying at the beginning of your upkeep. So really like that in here. The One Ring, going to give you protection, gives you some draw. You're going to gain some life off of... actually, the only gain life is the one that the Aether Flux. But the protection part is going to be really nice, especially when you're in a mill deck. People hate mill. 3 steps ahead, you're creating a token of target artifact or creature control. Once you get that copy of your commander, you can copy it, but this is also a protection, or you can draw cards. You can loot through things with this card here. So I like modes. Mode cards are my favorite, just because you can use the different stuff in different pinches. And if you're in a pinch for, hey, I want to protect my commander, or hey, now I have 2 of my commanders, let's make 3, let's make 4. This is just awesome in that. Tide Skimmer, like I said, there's a lot of flyers in here, and you're easily going to be able to attack with them. Draw cards whenever you attack with 2 or more flyers. 20 Toad. Nope, no Consecrated Sphinx. That's just too much. Consecrated Sphinx is 6. Like I said, I'm trying to keep everything low CMC because your commander's a 3 CMC. So you're trying to get as much of these little guys out for blocking as possible because, like I said, mill, I've made many mill decks. I've always had basically a mill deck. And when you play mill, you become a target. And so you have to find a way to get around that. Consecrated Sphinx being 6, you just get too late game. It doesn't take effect until late game. And this isn't built on draw. I would put Consecrated Sphinx where if your commander's like, anytime you draw cards, boom, something happens. Then I put Consecrated Sphinx in. It did start in the beginning, but I took it out because it's just too high CMC. Okay, so whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, easy. You're going to attack with your commander and something else, or even this. Put a 1/1 counter on this and draw a card. You're not going to get the ultimate ability of winning the game. It's more of you're always attacking. That's the point of this deck. There's a lot of cards I took out that did whenever you do combat damage. You have to remember your combat damage is getting prevented. So all those cards don't work if your commander's out. So I tried to get rid of all the cards that did that. I wanted cards based on when you attack or the ETB, because if you're doing it on combat damage, that's a no-go. Visions of Beyond, that's going to be easy right there. After 2 attacks with your commander, you're drawing 3 cards, and it's instant. Very nice. You're playing 1 color. This is going to work a lot. Zenith Chronicler. Whenever a player casts their first multicolor spell, other player draws a card. So nice there. 2-drop. Well, I guess these 2 are non-evasive, but this guy gets bigger. It's a nice blocker. Chump blocker there, chump blocker there. and this is drawing you cards. So they're doing things with drawing. So I almost kind of put these as emergency blockers. Otherwise, they're more of my draw package. All right, ETB, death triggers, static triggers. Got 17 of them. We already talked about the owl. Crashing Drawbridge isn't an ETB or fit into that, but it gives your commander haste. And it's a creature for 2, easy, can block things. It's really nice to have out. This is one that Lowry kind of pointed out to me a while back. We've talked about it a bunch, and I like putting it in a lot of decks because it can go in a lot of decks, especially when you're dealing with attacking and all that. So that's the thing is your commander gets out, and it's nice if you can hit that first turn that it gets in. You're that much further ahead of getting everybody milled out. And once people see 10 cards go to their graveyard, they're like, oh, shit, that thing needs to die. So this helps at least give you a turn ahead to get your commander out and do its thing. Defiler of Dreams. So this is going to be card draw mainly. It is also a reduction in casting stuff. So you can pay 2 life, and let's say you're trying to do Fairy Seer. You pay 2 life and you don't even pay the 1 blue, and it just comes into play. So it's doing that whole kind of like Phyrexian mana, except it isn't, because you only can do it for the 1 blue. You can't do it if there's 2 blue, like in this casting cost. You can't do it for both of them, and it doesn't go across the board. Just it's a kind of a confusing way they worded it. I had to look it up to make sure. I thought it was like, oh, if I pay the 2 life, all my blue things that have blue in it cost less. No, it's for each spell is going to be 2 less. So. It's also a flyer. It's 5. It's a little bit higher on my CMC, so this one was a borderline being cut. But 5 is probably my border of like cards that I try to get out early. We talked about Mastermind. Fairy Seer is going to scry ya for 1 drop. Pilgrim's Eye. Let's get some land. Solemn Simulacrum. Yeah, we'll chump block, draw off of that. I did not talk about the Talon's Messenger. So when it attacks, or whenever you attack with 1 or more fairies, this is a fairy, so all you need to do is attack with this guy. Draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, put a 1/1 counter on target fairy you control. So this guy, I think there are 3 fairies in this deck. Yeah, 3. So it could target other ones, but really what you're trying to do with this deck is you're doing a lot of draw, discard, draw, discard, draw, draw, draw. You're trying to hit the spells that are going to make multiple copies of your commander. You don't get multiple triggers off of it, but having more of your commander out, you don't worry about commander damage. You're trying to mill. So the more copies you have, you don't care if they kill your original one. You want as many of those guys out there so that the effect is always on board, that anytime that you're dealing damage, that people are milling cards away. We have the other Thassa. Again, it's only 5, and we do have a lot of ETB stuff, so this one's really going to work well. And really, in a pinch, you can tap down creatures. I highly doubt that's ever going to get used. But the flicker effect and the indestructible, with only having to have 5 blue, pips everywhere, this one's going to work out really well. So, all right, evasive creatures. So let's avoid the ones that we haven't talked about, or we have talked about. All right, we added this one in there. It's a flyer, 1/3, and it's going to give your commander. I don't think it. They didn't change the wording. It's just they have to pay 3 more to cast if they're going to target it. So it isn't the countering with what's its nuts ability. Why am I blanking on what is completely mind blanking on it? But so I added more protection creatures in this because I didn't have a lot. I'm not counterspell. I don't play counterspells unless it has a mode that I'm using other parts of that mode. So I did play a lot more creatures. You can see I also have Kira there too. So we're going to counter spells. This also affects you. So if I'm trying to target my commander to make another copy, I'm not going to be able to unless the first spell gets countered. So this is just adding some extra protection. We talked about that. Well, we'll add this one in there too. Siren Storm Tamer. So sacrifice it, counter target spell or ability that targets you or a creature you control. Do I have a lot of creatures with the same creature type? No. As you can see, there's a lot of different creature types there. If you can see that, there's boom, 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 boom. Highest amount is rogue with 4. So, or wizard or rogue there. Silent Hall Creeper. So when he doesn't get blocked, you can choose one of the modes. You can't choose the same one. You have to choose a different one each turn. So probably first turn you're going to draw, or maybe put the 2 counters. The next turn, draw, and then you change it into a copy of another creature control. Hopefully by that time your commander is no longer legendary, so you can change this dude into that. Or you just change him into that, kill your commander off, cast your commander again, and then you have 2 of them. So that's a nice one to have in there. I added Thieving Skydiver, so he has flying. It's a 2-drop, but we can steal some soul rings. Other people's soul rings or anything else they have in play artifact-wise, take that and attach it to this dude. Well, if it's a equipment, but otherwise you're stealing soul rings. I just like this, a little bit of disruption in this. And then also that wasn't on my last deck was Vantress Gargoyle. It's a 2-drop for a 5/4. It can't attack unless the player has 7 or more cards. The first attack you do, all the players you can attack. And for a 2-drop for a 5/4, that's pretty nice. And then you can mill, self-mill. But just the 2-drop part of that and being so big, it's pretty nice. So I like that one in there. I don't know how often you're going to be able to block. Well, I guess 4 more. That's not that bad. Mid-late game, of course, you're going to have that much. But it's more on the attack. This is a big dude for 2 drops. All right, so we have our hindering section. This is where I kind of just, mess with people. So we got back to basics. Harbinger of the Seas. So we're messing with people that are playing with non-basics. We have a few non-basic lands, but not a lot. Not as much as everybody else would have. So these are really going to affect those players. Crawl space, no more than 2 creatures can attack you, and propaganda. So this is a little bit of protection on top of your chump blockers. So that's going to help there. Making copies. So look at that. We have 9 different things. We have talked about a couple of them, but let's get to the ones we didn't talk about. Auton Soldier. This is an awesome card. Like, if your commander matters, or even just trying to get multiple attacks with stuff, this is just fantastic in it. So you make a copy of any target creature on the battlefield, except it isn't legendary, and it has Myriad, and it's an artifact, but that's beside the point. So now you just copy your commander. Now you have another commander, but when you attack with this dude, it makes 2 more copies. If, we're playing a 4-player game, 2 more copies. You have 30 points of mill that are being done, including your commander if he's still alive. So 40 just with this dude swinging in. So this is an awesome card in there. This one's just doing the same thing, making copies. It takes away the legendary. Same with Sakashima. This one has the rebound. So you're making that copy, takes away the legendary rule, except it isn't legendary. It doesn't take away the rule, it just makes it not legendary. And then the next turn you get another one. So it's just a rebound effect. You don't have to cast it again. It just does it the next turn. So you're getting 2 off of that for a 5-drop. Spark Double, doing the same thing. And then the one that we did not talk about yet was Sublime Epiphany. Again, we have a mode with this. So counter spell, counter an activated ability, return a non-land permanent, create a token, and drawing a card. So all of these are great. You're going to try to make more copies. You got enough of these. You're doing enough draw on this that you should be able to make. I mean, the ones that don't do the legendary is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them that do take away the legendary, so you don't have to. You can have multiple copies of your commander. I do not have Helm of the Host in here, you will notice, because again, we're talking about this is a faster. Helm of the Host is. I feel like it fits in decks that are more grindy, that you can sit back and hit, like they're going to be longer games. This one's actually going to be relatively fast, unless they kill your commander quick. Then you're building up. Like the thing is once your commander's gone, the threat of you milling is gone at that point. Then you can just keep playing your creatures and you don't look like a threat. So I think I really like this deck in that aspect, because you're just playing a bunch of ETB stuff, just advantage stuff in general. So I think I like how this one's going to play. I'll see how it is when it gets in the wild. That's always another thing there. All right, so our protection. We've already talked about these little dudes. Let's talk about our equipment. So we obviously Greaves. We got March of the Swirly Mist can help you, can protect you. I love March of the Swirly Mist in blue decks because you can use it as your advantage to phase their stuff out, or phase your stuff out to protect it. So it's always a great card. Mithril Coat, we're going to do Surprise Indestructible. Save your commander. Spellskite, if you're in a blue deck and you want to protect stuff, that's the way to go. And then Swiftfoot Boots. So we have 10 protection spells, creatures in the deck, which is pretty nice. Ramps, we only have 9. We got Arcane Signet, Decanter of Endless Water. When you're playing a 1-color deck, this has to go in there. I had The lens. We're going to call it lens. E-lens, because I did that last time. Extra planner lens? Extra planner lens. That's whatever. That's what I'm going to call it there. Midnight Clock, High Tide, Sapphire Medallion, Soul Ring, and we already talked about those guys. So only 9 rocks, but everything is really low CMC in the deck, so I don't see, and when I've done my testing, there really wasn't a big issue with that. Removal. We have Curse of the Swine. So I had to flip things around a bit because I had a crap ton of removal before when it was the Spell Slinger. Now I've kind of whittled it down a bit. So we have still some of the Spell Slingers. I kept the instant speed ones to, take out their creatures or their artifacts. And then I also added in the Storm Drake. I think this one's kind of sweet because you can take out a creature and you don't need to pay the 4. If it's bigger than what this is, it's just a sack outlet. Get rid of the thing that's hurting you the most. And it's only a 2-drop. So I think this one's going to be great in there as well. All right, just the land package. I'll show you what special lands. It's 26 islands. We're trying to get a little bit of ramp with our Ancient Tomb. We got the Vantress, Halmar Depths, obviously Shrine to Nyx, Otwara, Plaza of Heroes, Reliquary Tower, Rivendell, and War Room. Awesome. 1-color deck? Sure. Let's just pay 3, lose a life, and then draw a card. So this is it, guys. This is the deck in a nutshell. Let's do a little play test quick. I just wanted to do like 5 minutes of that just to kind of give you guys an idea how this sucker plays out. So we got our 3 land in hand, so this would be a good starting hand. Nope, let's just draw that card. So we do want to try to get the commander out right away, so we would just be starting to play our... And I probably would do a lot of basic lands because I do have that, hindering of non-basic lands. So second turn, boom, we get that out. No Urzas. No, Urzas doesn't make sense in this deck. It doesn't make sense. I know. Shame on me. Okay, so we get 3. So right away, we get our commander out. Not doing anything, no protection. So we're just hoping that, it doesn't get killed. Oops, I got to get over this one. All right, so we are at turn 4. Let's see what we got here. We can make that. Okay, so we'd already start making our copies. We have enough of them. So we'd swing in for 10. This is my mill. This is what I'm doing there. We're going to tap 4. We're going to make another one. And we're going to go... I keep doing that because I'm looking up there instead of down here. 5th turn. Now let's get our other land in play here. We'll probably throw the Vantress out there. Or we can even do Rivendell. So now we're swinging in for 20. So that's 30 cards that are going to be milled at this point. That'll attack. That'll attack. We have 5. So we probably throw this guy out there. So you can kind of see what's happening here. This is a quick... I think this is going to be a fast-paced deck if the commander doesn't get dealt with right away. Because right now we're going to swing in this turn for a total of 60 is gone. And you can see we're at 86, so next turn would be game over for everybody. I probably would try to protect my commander, so I'd throw that guy out there and probably leave this to protect because we have the game won at this point. So hoping that we can get around and then boom, game's over. All right, let's do another one. This is how fast this deck kind of goes. Let's see. I make sure we have 3 land. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. So let's start with... Yeah, we'll just start with the basic out there. Go to next turn. I don't have any... With Sky Scanner. 3, 3, 1. All right, so we throw him out there. God, doing that again. Doing that every single time. Get another basic. Okay, so now we'd have a choice. Let's see. Do we want... I mean, we would go with our commander. This would be a little bit slower because we don't have our copies, but that's totally fine. So commander's out, turn 3. That's just going to be your typical turn 3. It's going to be out. We'll get 4 lands out there. We're swinging in. Is there anything that's going to help me on attacks that I could play? No. So we're swinging in for 10. And this just needs to be, what is it? 20 or more. So next turn we'll cast this to draw a bunch of cards. So I think what I would do here is maybe 20 Toad. Or maybe I get... No, because I won't get that next turn. Do I get my clock? 1, 2, 3. let's utilize our 4 so we get our 20 toad out, and it's a blocker. Then we go to the next turn. All right, so we're on turn 5. We ended at what, turn 6 last time? Turn 7? Okay, so 20 toad just needs whenever you attack with 2 or more. So we're going to attack with both of these in that. We drew our land. I'm trying to see if there's any bonus. So we would attack. That's unblockable. We'd attack with this. We would get a counter on him. Probably just get jump block. We draw a card, discard a card. Oh. Whatever. Let's get rid of that for now. When we get to our second main phase, we can do this at instant speed. So is there anything that's a 4-drop I want to get out there? At this point, that's not going to help us. Let's get him out. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I haven't even played my land yet, have I? Or did I? 1, 2. Yeah, I did, because we're at 5. All right, so there's nothing else I could do. Oh, you know what I could do instead? So I do 1, 2, 3. Let's get the clock out. Then 1, 2, 3, and we'll get him out. So that would be how I'd probably run that turn. Get a little bit more ramp in there, and we get another attacker for next turn, and a little bit of card draw. So we go to our next turn. We did our first. Oh, that'd be 20, right? Yeah, we'd have 20 off of there. Okay, so now we're able to make some more copies of this guy. We have 20 toad there. We probably throw that out. Now we're gonna be able to get. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we make a copy here, 1, 2, 3. And 4, we're making a copy of him. So actually we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we tap 2. Oops. And the Nix. I think we play the 1 to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look, we get it again. So we have 8 left over. Oh, we need 9 for monstrosity, don't we? Yeah, dang it, we're 1 off there. So I'd probably go this. I'm down to 4. Make another copy of our Mindskinner. Just kind of moving things over there. So we have, we dropped down to 9, 5. So we have 4 left. I'd probably get this dude out, the giggler out there. The giggler. And then we'd swing in for 10. And this guy would draw you a card. Oh, nice. And I'd swing in with this. Oh, and we draw a card and discard a card. So I'd throw that out there. This guy would get a counter. You're for sure doing 10, probably doing more than that. You're probably doing 12 because of him. So we're up to 32 cards discarded. And basically at this point, if nothing happened, obviously you're goldfishing. You're seeing how it is. But you're at turn 7 and it's likely game over because you're going to pop this dude up. Let's see. So we're going to do 10, 20, 30. We're going to monstrosity that dude. So he's going to give you 6. So that's going to be 18 additional plus 20. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You're doing 82. Look how many cards we've drawn so far. I know we drew a little bit extra. But right there, you've already milled out everybody. So by turn 7, it's done. So let's do one more run here just so you can kind of see. Let's restart. Okay, 2 blue. Let's make sure we get a land. Okay, we got a land. All right, so we drop our land for turn. No 1-drops, so we're going to say go. Next turn, we're going to get our hasty guy out. So now we get the drawbridge. That's what's nice when you get the haste out, because then this turn is when you drop your commander, and by turn 3, you're already swinging in for 10. Now, again, this is all if, this is just playing Goldfish. You just want to see how it flows. You know that it's once people see this deck start doing its thing, they're probably going to try to remove Mindskinner as soon as possible. So this is going to be a crazy example because you're going to play Brewvac, and now you're milling. Now it's 20. You're up to 30. You milled them 30. And at that point, you're kind of looking like it's game over in a way. Because you're going to do 20 again. It's going to be a 50. I guess one more turn. So it'll be a turn 6. So I think in this case, I would throw out... Oh, I can give things haste. So if I got him out, 1, 2... That doesn't really do a big advantage there. And something for 3... I guess then you'd throw out crawl space, so then people couldn't attack you. So you give everything haste, swing in with these two. You're doing 2 here and 20 there, so you're doing 22, so it's up to 52. And then we move to turn 6. And if nothing happened and no one removed your stuff, which I would assume they would have removed it, but you would have the game at that point. You know, this is where you're sitting. So what are we at? Okay, one more time. That went really quick because we got a really nice starting hand there. All right, we got 1 land, 2 land. Let's see if we get our third. We do. Ugh. This one would be a tough start. I mean, it's nice to get the 2 there. What are we going to get there? That's a draw. Oh, we get our Pilgrim. Okay, we keep it for sure. This would come into play tapped. Just trying to decide if there was a 2-drop artifact. Nope. In play tapped. Let's go to next turn. We would get our Ancient out there. Let's get the Pilgrim out. So we'd lose 2 life. And we go search for a basic. I'd want an island. Goes into my hand. And then we go to our next turn. All right. So we're a little bit behind on this one because we chose to go. We needed the blue land. You know, you can't get your commander out unless you have the blue land. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. How would I want to run that? Oh, that's how I'd run it. I go boop, get him out with that, and boop, get him out. So we're getting a bunch of little dudes out. We got blockers. We don't look scary at this point. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Then we go to next turn. Let's throw out another blue land. Now we can get our commander out. Is there anything I want to do with this? Actually, I probably would go 1, 2 there. There's another 2 life. Play that. 1, 2, 3. Get your commander out. Not going to do anything with it, but you can swing in for 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to mill 4. Okay. So this is an example of a grindier turn or game in this one, which would be probably your typical game, not going too fast. All right, so we throw the Shrine to Nyx out there. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, that's definitely worth doing there. What do we have here? We have, oh, it's on his attack, so you won't be able to do anything with him right now. We can do stuff there. I'd probably keep 3 back just to protect my dude. Make sure he gets through on a turn. Oh, it is this turn. I cast him last turn, right? Yeah, that's right. So let's go. Because you can't attack with any of these guys this turn. So we'd attack with everything we have here. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So now we go up to 18 mil, then turn 5. 18 total. Then let's say they did try to kill your dude. Let's say we did this. We threw that in response. Then we tap 2 on our second main phase for 3, 4, 5. Oh, we would draw and discard. So discard that. 6. So we'll have 6 floating. We'll throw him out there. And maybe we keep Mindskinner back. Or Mindskinner, Skydiver back. Yeah, that's probably what I do there. Because, well, unless there was something on the field. Let's just say we get everything out there. Let's get as much as we can to see if we can finish the turn here. All right, so Plaza would save your guy a little bit. I probably would drop Plaza here just to save your dude. And then I want to see what I can draw because if I can draw something good before I get there. We'll throw that out. Draw. Oh, land. We're going to want to discard that. Okay. So actually, I probably would turn that monstrous. So now you're attacking for 6. So that's at 18 again. 18, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. You're going to draw and discard 34. So we're going to have 34 plus that is 44, 52. So you're going to have that milled down to 52. And basically, what are we at? We're at 82. So your next turn is game over if nothing interferes. Obviously, things are going to interfere. You're going to grind it away. Things happen. Oh, Lightning Greave's nice there. The one thing I'd say with this hand, the hard part is you didn't get a lot of draw stuff, so that kind of screwed you. But, you know, you're going to play it all differently. Every game's going to be different. You know, people are going to interact. You're going to have removal, so you just need to be prepared for that. So, but I think this is going to be a very good deck. how I see it happening. Oh, I completely froze. Did not even realize I froze there. So the last like whatever minutes I haven't been doing it. I've been focused on the deck. So, but how I see this working out is you get your commander out, you swing in, people see the 10 damage or 10 milled, and then they go, oh, we need to remove it. Then you start playing all your other stuff, grind it out, get that out there, and then when you get your commander out for the second time, you're doing that much more. And so I think this one's going to be a really good one. I like this deck. I think it might be the best mill deck that I've had, in that it can defend itself at the same point of actually killing everybody at the same time. So yeah, I'm excited to play this. I'll let you guys know how this goes once we get it in real life. Sorry, I froze there. Didn't realize that, but I'm still here. You can see I'm moving. So, all right, gang, that should do it. Make sure you give this a like, and we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye. See ya. Hey, gang, the best way to support the Commander Smiths is make sure you slap that like button. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our online store, commandersmiths.com, where we have metal tokens, mugs, t-shirts, playmats, and more.